You know, every time I listen to these two speak, I get more and more refreshed as being a proud Canadian. I don't know about you, but every time there's something new that comes to light, something new that they mention, something that sits in the back of our heads that we literally can actually think about because, you know, we're actually educated Canadians who actually can form our own thoughts and opinions. And it's nice that we have people that are willing to allow us, not like what our established governments are now, to actually have freedom of opinion and thought. So my name is Daniel Boucher. I'm the regional coordinator for Central Ontario. I'm responsible for 5 regions, 19 candidates in the next election. I've been part of this organization, part of Maxime's party since 2018 when we formed originally. I set up the Barrie Springwater Oro Medonte EDA. I helped form the Barrie Innisfil EDA. And I've been friends with Stephen Mack and a bunch of our team since the establishment of this concept. And everything that's moving forward, all I see is growth. All I see is support. All I see are people that are rallying behind our countries, our community, and everything that's happening. I've never been so proud. So I want to thank you all. You all have a part to play in this. The fact that you're out here to support us, you're out here to hear us. Even if you're not decided on who you're going to vote for, that doesn't matter. You're here to actually listen to people who actually are going to try to speak to you openly. We respect transparency. We respect freedom of dialogue. So when our candidates are walking around, shake their hands, speak to them, ask them what their opinions are. The same thing for Maxime, the same thing for Randy. Everything that's going on, we don't block anybody. We're not trying to form a ring around anything. We're here for you guys. I started out my political career a little bit when I ran for council here for Ward 4 in Barrie. What I found was that the reality was money was buying elections. I didn't take a single dollar from anyone. I reached out to everybody. I wrote up my own literature. I literally went door to door, 1,700 houses. I damn near touched every one of those doors. I did that all by myself and my kids and my family. I want to let you know that Barrie, for the last 5 years, has been my home. And that's why I'm taking on the mic today. I normally don't step on my toes of my candidates, my regional coordinators, everybody that's reaching out on behalf of the party. I try to let them speak because municipal politics is my bang. And the reality is, I love my city. I love where I've been. I love what I've come to realize here in the city with my family, my friends, and my community. But what I see is happening in this city is destructive, vile, and wrong. Our mayor is censoring everybody online. He's blocking us from having opinions. It's okay when you want to block the Ontario Central PPC online. That's fine. I don't care about that. But when you're blocking my spouse from having a comment online, you're scared of debate. You don't want to have anything being put in your face anymore. And Mayor Lehman and these councillors are weak cowards. And that's the problem. I'm never going to back down from anybody in this city. When this election is done, you're going to hear a lot more from me. I'm going to be a lot more vocal in this community, and I'm going to bring a lot more reign of conservative policies back down on this city that Doug Shipley and the rest of these buffoons that don't understand economics or what a city corporation was actually meant to be. So I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to speak on behalf of the community all the time. And even though I represent the PPC currently, I will be pushing forward in this city to represent you, the citizens, the residents, everybody here in this city, and these small businesses who don't realize that they've been shuttered out. There's a couple things I want to touch on about that. There was a lot of backlash that happened from Flying Monkeys hosting Trudeau. And I just want to tell you, we don't want that in our party. We don't want you to have backlash against businesses. That's not what we want. We don't want any of that. We want you to support our small businesses. We want you to support our restaurants. We want you to support our massage therapists, our acupuncturists. We want you to support our gas stations who are willing to promote the city. We want everything. All right? That's not what we want. So we don't want our members to reach out and send vile messages to a restaurant or anything like that. We're not about that. Okay? So I want you to understand that very clear, that that is not something that we want to have done. Now, that being said, there is one thing that I would like to point out about Flying Monkeys that people probably don't realize. They didn't get hurt as much in the lockdowns. Nowhere near. They're a brewery. Sales of beer went up 300% during in Ontario, especially to women over the age of 40. That's crazy. So this is what happened. So that restaurant got hit, but you know who got hit the most? Servers, bartenders, cleaners, people that are stuck in their businesses that they literally want to just help your community. They want to put some food on the table for their kids. And we weren't able to do that anywhere across this city. You know, that last lockdown we had, it took North Swing Golf Lounge, and it took Pizza Inc. and a whole bunch of these different businesses to finally speak up online to bring Doug Shipley, John Brassard, Mayor Lehman, and these crappy counselors in line who didn't want to speak out for you, but finally they had a good following, and that's what brought them in line. Like I said, municipal politics is my thing, so that's why I wanted to take this over a little bit, MC the event for my candidates. I wanted to MC the events for my friends that are in attendance, my family that's walking around. This is what I'm passionate about. Obviously, I'm very supportive of Maxime Bernier and where we're going with the party. You know, I was a past military medic. I spent 7 years in the armed forces. I was a primary care paramedic. I worked during SARS. Now I'm seeing what's happening. I work for the federal government in law enforcement, and they censor me all the time. I don't want that. They're reviewing my social media, professional standards all the time just because of my freedom of opinion that I'm supporting conservative values. And that's wrong. I don't want to see that happen to anyone anymore, and I'm tired of it, and I'm fed up. It's time that we all band together and speak out appropriately about this. I want to just thank the community restaurants and people that have been hosting our events lately. You know, I'm very proud to see that people are willing to actually say, listen, even if I'm going to remain neutral and just host your events, that's perfectly fine. Nobody's asking you to throw our windows in a stand or throw it in your window or do whatever you want on your cars. It is what it is. But you know what? We're going to support you anyways. And Flying Monkeys, we still support you. I love your juicy ass beer. That's literally my favorite beer, and I'm surprised that cancel culture hasn't come for that, because heaven forbid you say the word juicy ass these days. So I want to thank everybody for coming out today. I'm here for you guys. You can always reach me at boucher@peoplespartyofcanada.ca. I'll put you in touch with everybody I can. All these people that are reaching out to me behind the scenes that want to have some action done, that are speaking up and supporting our message. Even here locally in municipal politics, it's unbelievable the response that we're starting to get. And you will see me on the ballot in the next municipal election when I challenge people here. Not sure where that's going to be yet, but I'm not letting these hypocrites take over this city and our kids anymore. I'm tired of it. I'm going to keep this nice and light now. Now I'm going to move it over to our candidates. Before I give any big introductions, I want you guys to know that these candidates put their courage on the line. They put their identities in front of you. They ask questions, and that's about all candidates too. This is not a knock about anybody. I don't care if you're a Green candidate, NDP candidate. You still put your name, your face, your image on placards, posters, business cards. You're doing stuff to represent your community. We might not have the same politics. I might not believe your identity politics bullcrap, but the reality is I support your enthusiasm that you want to represent a party, and I will always be here to support your freedom of support, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, all that stuff, because that's what we stand for in this party. We believe in freedom. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up my candidate, Chris Webb. Chris Webb is an engineer, self-starter, amazing man. He's willing to speak for the community. And I just hope that you give him the immense amount of support that we are giving to him behind the scenes. Thank you very much, Chris.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a great day. My name's Chris Webb, and I'm a candidate for Barrie, Springwater, Ormondonti. And can't hear me? Closer? Oh, see, the mic's too low. That's I'm always too tall. But anyway, great. My name's Chris Webb. I'm the candidate for Barrie, Springwater, Ormondonti, and I welcome you here to the PPC meeting and outdoor meet and greet. I'm be pleased to meet with you after the event. But my background is engineering, and I have my own small company, and I was hurt quite a bit by this COVID alarmism. And we need to get back to some freedom. We need to touch base with what we need is in freedom. So I'm not a professional speaker. I'm not a professional politician. I'm a small business owner. And I ran for the party because this stuff is really messed up. The last 18 months has been terrible for people I know, for businesses, for myself, my family. It's been a horrible, horrible time. And I think as an engineer, I could do better. So that's the reason I jumped in to this challenge. So the party has lots of policies identified on their website, but some of the top ones are about the alarmism around carbon tax. You know, we're being taxed, an additional tax, taking money out of our pockets. That's about to stop if you elect the PPC. We're against the carbon tax, we're against alarmism around greenhouse gas. And as a scientist, a chemical engineer, I know a little bit about greenhouse gas, so. The support I've been getting around the neighborhoods I've been walking around has been fantastic. People aren't saying they're PPC's dedicated, but the people I talk to are going, fantastic, give me a sign, I'm signing up here, where can I volunteer, where can I buy some merchandise, where do I get the signs, all that kind of stuff is happening. So behind the scenes, people are making those commitments. You don't see it on the streets yet, but I think the purple wave will take over Canada. We'll take it back for freedom. So I hope you can get out here, you can support us, tell everybody you know that PPC's working hard for you. We're gonna take back the government and bring freedom to everybody. Thank you very much. There's got to be somebody else.
I don't need the mic for that one.
All right.
All right, awesome. You know, the reality is, if we were talking about greenhouse gases and we're talking about climate issues, come speak to Chris, because he's going to talk your ear off about this nonsense that's being fed to you, all these lies. And I love having somebody like Chris on our team. Our candidates in the last 2-3 years, the amount of people that are stepping forward, it's not like it was before. We rushed through the last election in 2019. We had to get all these people out. We had to get Max on the stage. You know, it's not like it was before. We're very professional now. Everything about our organization is moving forward. Our support is at record numbers. Every Canadian record for politics, we're smashing day by day by day. Anyone who says we don't have a chance, just ask these courageous candidates that are willing to speak on your behalf. They're going out there door to door and hammering it through. And my next speaker, is Corrado Brancato. He is the candidate for Barrie Innisfil. John Broussard better watch out, because he thinks that he's got this thing up as the whip, but the only thing you're going to get whipped is potentially your butt.
Thanks, Chris. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Get real close to the mic. Real close? How's this? Perfect. So thanks for being here today, showing up on this beautiful day. It's not raining. How about that? My name's Corrado Brancato, and I am the candidate for Barrie Innisfil. I've been following Max since 2015, when the PPC party was brought together, and I'm totally on board with his policies, his agenda. It's all outlined on his website. As a candidate, we are here promoting freedom. We're promoting your choice, your decision, your body, your mind. Don't let no one censor any of your thoughts or what you believe in. We need to step up, and we need to shatter the fear that's been instilled upon us. It's important. Stand up and let everyone know who you're with and who you're voting for. Get your family, your friends, your neighbors, everyone. It's important that we unite. The more united we are, the stronger we will become. Important, very important. I've been canvassing in Barrie Innisfil, and I've received tremendous amounts of support. We need volunteers. We need people to help with funding, canvassing, door-to-door pamphlets. We need your help. If anyone is interested, please reach out to me. My email is ppccorrado@gmail.com, and it's welcoming for anyone to step up. Thank you. I'll be walking around introducing myself, and I look forward to meeting you all. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Another great speaker for us. And once again, these people are putting their image, they're putting their family out there, they're representing their communities. So we do need your volunteers. We do need things that are coming through. We need your donations to the party, all right? The reality is you still need a little bit of cash behind the scenes, but it's unbelievable what our supporters are doing. And I gotta tell you, when you reach out to 1, 2, 10 people, the amount of people that are giving us high fives, giving us thumbs up on the highway with our PPC signs in our windows, that 400 has never been blanketed in more PPC signs than I've ever seen before. I love seeing it, so that's amazing. Next up, we have one of the biggest courageous leaders, MPP. You know, Randy Hillier speaks from the heart, and the lockdown movement's never been busier. This man is so courageous. And I love the Newfie background that he brings into it. I mean, the man is the most approachable person I think I've ever met. So I just love the suspenders. But it's time for Randy to come up here, speak from the heart. He always does. He's going to be entertaining. But you guys have to be loud, too, for Randy. Everybody should know that he's here.
Good morning, Barrie. And good morning, freedom in Barrie. You know, the last time I was in Barrie, the municipality was kind enough to give me a ticket. Kind enough to give me a little present. And it was up on my wall, along with 25 other of those presents from around the province. And we're in court. And the judges and the justice system wants to keep delaying. But I'm going to keep speaking and speaking and speaking. You know, I was going to say something, but then when I was standing up here, I saw something that has been really troubling me for quite a number of months now in Ontario and Canada. Every time I drive down the highway, drive past a provincial building, a federal building, I see our Canadian flag at half staff every day, for months on end. And that's just, it tells me something. It tells me a terrible thing. Our governments don't want us to be proud of Canada. They've got the flag not proudly flying at full staff, but at half staff. They want us to be ashamed of our freedoms. They want us to be ashamed of our heritage, our culture. They want us to be ashamed of ourselves, and that's why they fly the flags at half staff throughout Canada, throughout Ontario. We have to raise the flag high. Raise the flag high with freedom. And we will. And we've got that opportunity on September 20th to put that flag back up at the top where it belongs. We've been on a slippery slope for a long, long time. That term, slippery slope, I've heard it so often, it's become cliche and just about meaningless over my lifetime. We're always told, be careful, you're on the slippery slope. For everybody here, we know we're at the bottom of the slippery slope for the last 17 months. The bottom. But 4 national political leaders want to push us deeper. They want to push us over the cliff with mandatory vaccines and permanent lockdowns. They want us in a permanent state of terror and fear. There's one national leader who wants to climb back up that hill. And I'm going to be climbing that hill with him, along with everybody here, and along with everybody in Canada who wants freedom. We're going to climb up that hill together. We're going to get back to the top of the mountain. We're going to have Canada, the top of the world, full of freedom, full of justice, full of democracy, and without fear and terror. You know, for the last 17 months, now we're into our 18th month of a 2-week flatten the curve, of 2 weeks to not overwhelm our hospital system. 2 weeks for just the vaccine. The vaccine that will be as soon as we get 70%, and then as soon as we get 80%, and as soon as we get 90% of people vaccinated. Well, really, it's when 110% of us are vaccinated, then they might change that goalpost to a steady one. But this is 17 months of causing people to be away from their families, away from their children, away from their grandchildren, not being able to celebrate the life's accomplishments of a loved one who has passed away, not being able to attend and celebrate the union of a couple in marriage, not being able to have friends and families over for Thanksgiving or Christmas. This has been a terrible, terrible terror that they've done to Canadians. And I'm going to say, it's been unwarranted. It's been unneeded. We've known that since at least April of last year. Our governments have been dishonest, duplicitous, deceitful to us all for 17 months. They know they've lied, and you can tell a liar because a liar keeps telling another lie to cover up the first lie. And I won't trust a word they say. But on September 20th, Canadians are going to choose. Are they going to stay on that path of fear and terror with Trudeau, O'Toole, Singh? Because they're all the same thing. They don't want anything different between the three of them. Or are we going to take the path with Max? Are we going to take the path to freedom? And I'm going to say, you know, a lot of people don't realize this. Don't realize this. There's 6.5 million Canadians who are opposed to mandatory vaccines. They're not getting the jab. The last federal election, Justin Trudeau won that election with 6 million votes. We can all do the math. All do the math. 6.5 million people can vote and get us back on the right path. Okay? Our job is to show those 6.5 million people that there is an option, that there is a choice. We can all do this together. We can all climb that hill together and take this new path. Join up your local PPC campaigns. Sign their nomination papers. Volunteer. Make phone calls for them. Knock on doors. Put lawn signs in the yard. Tell your friends and family members about the PPC and about freedom. And encourage them to get off the couch on September 20th. We can't win this if people sit on the couch and say to themselves, oh, I'm only one vote, I don't make a difference. Nonsense. 6.5 million people. And we saw what happened the other day in Nova Scotia. When people get off the couch, for the first time during COVID, an incumbent government fell. We've had 3 previous provincial elections. The incumbent government always won. But this week, the Nova Scotia government, who was demanding the mandatory vaccine and the mandatory passes, the people of Nova Scotia were honest with themselves. They were honest in the ballot box. And let me just tell you one other little story about Nova Scotia. There was one member who earlier this year was attending anti-lockdown rallies in Nova Scotia. One member out of the whole legislature. That person got kicked out of their caucus because she had the audacity to express herself and to demand freedom. And everybody tells you independents can't win. It's only the big parties. Well, on Tuesday, that independent MLA won her seat as an independent MLA. With over 50% of the vote. So you can believe the surveys, you can believe the polls, or you can believe this. There's a great many people in Canada who have been reluctant. They've been apprehensive. Indeed, sometimes fearful for their jobs and their family relations if they spoke truthfully about what they know about COVID. And they've had to self-censor themselves and be quiet. But at the ballot box, you can be honest. You can be truthful. Those people spoke out on Tuesday. We need to speak out on September 20th. And we have to spend. I'm going to spend every day and every hour until September 20th, encouraging people of Canada to stand up and to be free. Join Maxime, Barrie, join me, join the PPC. Let's climb this slippery slope together. Together we'll get to the top. Together we'll win. Together we'll have freedom. And I want to introduce Maxime Barrie. If you want the vaccine, don't vote for Maxime. And I'm going to say one more thing, because I've always got one more thing to say.
It's okay, it's okay. Everything that you're saying, it's important for everybody here.
Thanks, Max. Listen, Canada has a rich, strong history, a rich, strong heritage. It was forged and made when French and English stand and fight together. September 20th, French and English Canada, Quebec and English Canada are going to stand together. We're going to stand together like Max and I, like all of us, and we're going to get our country back and be at the top of the hill. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you very much. A real freedom fighter. Thank you. Yes, yes. So, you are here today, like me, like Randy, because you know that without freedom, there's no Western civilization values. Without freedom, there's no human dignity, equality of rights, and prosperity. And you know that our freedoms are under attack. Under attack by the medical tyranny, by the Trudeau, the Conservative, the NDP, and all these establishment political parties, under attack by also the woke and the leftist media that don't want us to speak. They are canceling us, they are censoring us on social media and everywhere. But I can tell you that will end. That will end because we're gonna work together. And Justin Trudeau said, I think it was yesterday or the day before, that we will need a vaccine passport to travel across the country in plane or in a train or a boat. And he's asking federal civil servants to have a vaccine passport, the 2 shots or 3 or 4, because we know that that won't end. It's always more and more and more, like Randy said. Actually, in Quebec right now, it was supposed to be, okay, we'll stop at 75% of the population vaccinated. Now they said 95%. And they said in Quebec yesterday, you'll have to wear a mask and social distance all the time. So we are fighting against that. And you know, I want to have a smaller government in Ottawa that will respect your rights and respect our Constitution and give more autonomy to you and the provincial governments. But I want to have fewer civil servants in Ottawa. But I must say today that I'm with them. They must fight because they must have the right to work for the government without having to show a vaccine passport. And Trudeau said speaking to the federal employees, they will have consequences if they don't take the shots. You know, and Trudeau said, you will be punished if you don't take the shots. I'm saying here right now to Justin Trudeau, he is the one that will be punished the 28th of September. And the cancel culture will have to end. Will have to end. But, like I said, when I was arrested in Manitoba, after a political gathering, I was put in jail, handcuffed, like a criminal for a non-crime, just after a political gathering in a park. That was political repression in 2021, like in Russia and in China. They didn't want to hear the other side. What they decided to do, I had a huge rally in Winnipeg. They didn't want me to be there, so they put me in jail for 10 hours to silence us. But I can tell you, I will be back in Manitoba and we will fight together for our freedoms. But like I said, when I was arrested, when the police asked me, do you have any weapons? Anything that can hurt me? I look at him and I say, what? Weapons? I said in my mind, do you know that, I'm a politician and I don't travel with weapons? But I said, only my words, only my philosophy. And I can tell you, yeah, freedom. And I can tell you that I will use my words as my weapons, and I will use my weapons all across the country during this campaign and after this campaign to tell the truth based on facts and on the science. But I don't want to be alone. I need you. I need you to use your words as your weapons like me, and if you do that, we will win that battle of ideas. I'm a proud Canadian, and we are proud Canadians. But enough is enough, and we have a nice opportunity, the 28th of September, to express that to Justin Trudeau and all the other establishment politicians. Actually, the good news is this Saturday, I will know if I'm on the stage against these elite politicians to debate in the national debates that will happen in the beginning of September. I will be there. I believe that I will be there because the only condition for us is to be at 4% in the polls, but we are at 6%. But I believe that really we are more than that. Maybe we are at 20%. I don't know, but something is happening in this country. I can feel that common sense revolution, it's coming. But when I'll be on the stage, it will be fun. Because we're going to have an opportunity to speak to Canadians through the mainstream media. I said during this campaign and before the campaign with Randy and all the other fighting for ending the lockdowns, I said to Canadians, turn off the TV, turn on your mind. But there's an exception. The exception will be during the debate. I hope you'll turn on the TV and you'll see a real fighter for you, for our freedoms. And you'll see I will be able to answer all the questions. And actually, what I'm saying about our freedom, it is very important. Because right now, O'Toole, Maxime, Trudeau, they're all on the side of socialism. And I'm saying to former conservatives and people who believe in our country that there's hope. There's hope. If all together we fight for what we believe, we will be able to win that battle. Because when tyranny becomes law, revolution becomes our duty. And that's our duty to fight for what we believe. They don't want to have the real debates on the real issues for this country. Now, with that $350 billion deficit, we are paying for it right now. Trudeau said yesterday that it's not important. Inflation is not important. But we are paying right now, and our children and grandchildren will pay for these deficits. With the new tax, the Trudeau's inflation tax, today we know that the inflation is at 3.7%, and if you go and do your grocery, it would be more than that, 5-6%. Inflation is a hidden tax. It's one of the worst tax because the government is telling you, you can keep your money in your pocket. We won't tax you. We won't take your money in your own pockets. But you won't be able to buy the same amount of goods and services with that money. We call that inflation. We are losing our purchasing power. Everybody is poor. That's happening right now because of Justin Trudeau and these establishment politicians. We will stop that. You know, 20% inflation is not good. 3% inflation is not good. 2% inflation is not good. We will ask the Bank of Canada to stop to print money out of thin air and creating inflation. We will ask the bank to have a 0% target inflation. And like that, we will keep our purchasing power. Now we are losing our purchasing power, our way of life, our Western civilization way of life. I don't want a show me your papers society. I don't want a poor, everybody will be poor with that inflation tax. And when I said that, show me your papers, I want to speak to Canadians that decided to have the vaccine. As you know, we are for freedom, so we are for freedom of choice. Everybody must be free to decide if they want the vaccine or not with the right information, with informed consent. But I'm telling Canadians who decided to have the vaccine, whether you are vaccinated or not, it is irrelevant because now every Canadian will have to show their papers. The vaccinated one will have to show a vaccine passport. The unvaccinated ones will have to show maybe a COVID test or something like that. And I can tell you, these vaccinated Canadians understand now and more understand that it was supposed to be 1 shot, now it's 2 shots, and it will be 3, and now the booster shot. All that will end because these people will come and on our side, and they believe like us that we must be able to live in a free country like we were before COVID-19. And you know, we love this country. We want this country to be like it was before COVID-19. And we need to do a lot of bold reforms. One is ending all that spending, that COVID spending, to be able to balance the budget. Cutting the CBC, we can save $1 billion there. Cutting all the funding to mainstream media, we can save $600 million there. And they will have to find money from their viewers. And you know the beauty of that, if they're not able, if Canadians don't want to give them money, they will go bankrupt. That will be it. We call that a capitalist system, and yes, we want the media to be independent from the government, not dependent from the government, and if they're not good, Canadians won't pay for it, so they go bankrupt, and that will be the end of these leftist, socialist, mainstream media. So, we have a lot of work to do together. And yes, I want you to use your words as your weapons, like I said. You know, we had 300,000 votes at the last election in 2019. If only every one of these voters find 10 more voters, that will be 3 million votes. and we will be at 16% in the poll. So we can do that. I'm traveling across the country and I feel that common sense revolution, that freedom revolution, but we cannot do alone. I believe that Canadians need our voice, the PPC voice, the only freedom voice, but we and all our candidates across the country need your support and your vote. And that's the only way we will be able to win. But we will have a real freedom voice in Ottawa after that election. I don't know how many of our candidates will be elected, but I won't be alone, I can tell you that. And we will do these debates in Parliament. We will use all the parliamentary tools to do these debates. We'll use the parliamentary commission, the question period, and we will be that debate. We will have that debate with Canadians. That's so important, to try to tell them that fear, you cannot always live in fear. That was successful, but that must end because we have the data on our side. And like I said, I decided not to take the vaccine because I look at the data. I look at the statistic. And for a man, 58 years old, my chances of dying from COVID are only 0.5%. So if I have COVID, my survival rate is 99.5%. That's why we must explain that to Canadians. If you're under 30 years old, you have more chances of dying from the seasonal flu than from COVID-19. All these draconian measures must end, and the PPC will be there with you. I'm looking forward to debates during the national debates, but also, like John F. Kennedy said in 1961, I like to quote John F. Kennedy because that quote is actual for today. He said in 1961, in the long history of the world, only few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its maximum hour of danger. You are that generation. This is your role. And now is the time we must defend freedom against these authoritarian government right now. And I'm saying to Justin Trudeau and all these other establishment politicians, just watch us. You will be punished. You will be punished by Canadians for what you did to our country the 20th of September. So let's do the fight together. Following me, following your candidates on the social media, speak to your friends. That's the beginning of a nice common sense revolution. And actually, you know what it is, a common sense revolution here in Ontario. You had one a couple of years ago, but now it must be all across the country. So I'm doing that. I will always travel and fight for what I believe. I'm not doing politics based on survey and polling. We are doing politics differently because our platform of this campaign is the same platform that we had in 2019, and it will be the same platform in 2025 because we are doing politics based on principles with conviction and passion, and we will always do that for our country. So if you don't know why you must vote for the PPC, it's simple. The other options suck. That's why you must vote for the PPC. So thank you very much for your support. Stay tuned, fight, fight, and fight, and we will win that fight of ideas. Thank you.
Maxime Bernier, everybody! He will never let you down. Thank you very much for coming. Please feel free to mingle with all of our candidates. Make sure you volunteer. Sign up with us. Join us. Help us fight for you. Help us fight for this man who crosses this country and has shaken hands more than anyone else. If he hasn't dropped dead from COVID, I don't know what's going on. Thank you for coming.